spent a lot of time boots on the ground over the city and helped with various members of the administration, making sure that we were tightening up the property schedule. I don't know if, did you share that we...
This one here?
Yeah, still a work in progress, but cleaned up a lot of the factors that we reported in the old property schedule, and we had that in a spreadsheet, statement of values report, property addresses, things of that nature, construction of buildings. And we had a couple buildings that the city no longer had ownership of, so we took care of a lot of those housekeeping issues, but still some more to do in that regard.
Steve, can you comment a little bit about going to market? What's available out there? What some of the other quotes were, who the other players were?
Last year we did a very exhaustive marketing approach. We knocked on every door that was known to us, and we came back with two groups of carriers. We came back with carriers that said, well, you know, we like to take a look at Taylor, but we don't want to do the property. Or we want to take a look at just the liability, or we want to take a look at the property and the automobiles, we don't want to look at the liability. So we had a host of carriers that couldn't give us a comprehensive product. And as we tried to marry these carriers up, we really didn't find anything that made sense in relationship to those carriers that did offer a comprehensive product. And this year we focused back on those carriers that offered that comprehensive product, being Travelers, One Beacon, again, who's the carrier presenting here to you today, Gladfelter, a program out of Pennsylvania, and Trident Argonaut, a program out of San Antonio, Texas, that's administered out of Chicago. Those are carriers that we looked at last year, and after review, the pricing, and more importantly, the retentions offered by One Beacon were more competitive than the others. We find that a very similar situation this year. Carriers are looking at Taylor and they're wanting a retention of $250,000 across the board versus the current 50 or 100. And then obviously we had premium situations that far and exceeded what was being presented to you today from One Beacon. Confident also going back and not making a real formal approach to those carriers that I made reference to, the group that were the ones that just wanted a portion and weren't willing to offer a comprehensive program. And basically in polling those carriers, nobody's opinion from that group of carriers had changed about offering a comprehensive program. We have a heavy concentration of public sector business, and as we look at these carriers, these are the companies that I would expect to see or would expect to find responding to a municipality the size of the city of Taylor with the scope of services. And we also work with, if you consider us a retail agent dealing with an insurance company, there are also insurance agents out there that act as wholesalers. That if the city of Taylor knocked on their door, they wouldn't be able to help you, they'd refer you back to someone like myself. And of course, we're reaching out to those wholesalers too to see if they have programs or what they have access to. And that was in large part the response last year with carriers that, again, were willing to offer part, but not part, not whole.
What kind of retentions and premiums do similar sized cities? It sounds like you're suggesting that we're paying a higher premium or getting higher retentions because we're Taylor. Is that true? Can you name some comparable cities?
Well, okay, the city of Dearborn's been a client of mine since 1992. They currently have a $1 million retention. Their premium is extremely similar to what you're looking at, but they retain the first $1 million. The city of Melvindale is a client of mine. They retain the first $25,000.
Between those two cities, Dearborn's got 3 times our budget.
Right.
Melvindale has a third of our budget.
Yeah.
Not less. Yeah.
We insure Clinton Township, the largest charter township in the state, population a little over 100,000. They have a $100,000 retention. I insure a host of smaller communities that have zero deductible or a deductible only $1,000. let's see, up in St. Clair County, probably the city of Marysville will be the largest community that I work with, and they have a $25,000 deductible. So I think as far as where you are now makes sense, and I'm happy that we've got a carrier that's offering that dollar amount. When we look at bumping up that retention with these other carriers, I mean, what's the incentive for the city to take more out-of-pocket expense with a claim occurring? And unfortunately, there wasn't an incentive there.
No, I understand. I thought the inference was that those other companies weren't willing to give us 50, they wanted it to be 250 because of who we were.
No, I'm sorry, no.
That to other communities.
That was their quotation mark.
Okay, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Would it be a logistical nightmare if you did take a combination of the carriers that was willing to only offer part?
We do that with many of our clients. Again, back to Dearborn, we've got one carrier that does the liability, another carrier that does the property, and a third carrier that does the automobiles. Macomb County is another example. There's a community that has a county though, but they have a $750,000 retention, but several different carriers come into play there. And we look at those and we try to negotiate and put those together if it makes sense in relationship to comparison of a complete program. In Taylor's situation, it did not and has not made sense. And in many cases it doesn't. It's the exception and not the rule, in where we cobble together a Frankenstein of carriers, to come up with a complete product. It's normally the much larger communities that have premium well in excess of, say, $500,000 for law enforcement alone. Where you'll get one company that'll touch that part of it, but doesn't want anything else. So, any questions on any of the information as presented? The carrier continues to offer quarterly installments. There is no service charge.
Just to clarify, we, Nickel Saph makes those payments for us, and then we pay Nickel Saph. So they handle that to keep our coverage bound and always on time.
We've stepped into the breach a couple of times, that's okay. As an independent agent focusing on the public sector, we're always looking for and trying to develop markets. We're always trying to find not only customers that we can present our services to, but also make sure that we've got a wheelhouse that we can present that gives comprehensive and broad-based coverages. And my experience in the 20-some years I've been doing this is that field of carriers has gotten narrower and narrower and narrower. The city is seeing that specifically with work comp access. When I was here last time, we had 4 carriers that presented quotes for the work comp access. 2 of them were off the planet, and the 2 that were in play, these are the carriers that I'm placing all of my excess coverage with throughout the state right now. It's just the nature of the beast, where you have a specialized area of coverage, and unless a carrier makes a dedication to the underwriting staff, the claims staff, and the loss prevention staff, you really don't see them getting their arms around it. We've been working with Liberty Mutual, and they're coming out. They have had a historic book of business of school districts, and they're making the transition now in traditional municipalities. And I've been down to their offices in Indianapolis at least a half a dozen times over the last year and a half, where they picked my brain trying to figure out how to put this program together. And I was hoping that they were going to do something for the July renewal cycle, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. But I'm confident that, and excited about the fact that we're going to have a program that has the financial resources of Liberty Mutual coming into the marketplace. So we're always looking for those options too.
Council have any other questions?
Thank you, sir.
As always, Sheila knows how to get a hold of me if anybody has any questions. We appreciate your business and look forward to another year of cutting through it.
Thank you. Thank you.